Thank you, Emery. 8:16. Up next, sports gambling is legal in Michigan, but what does it allow, and can you be taxed on your winnings? Attorney Clarence Doss is here to break it all down for us. You're watching 7 Action News this morning on TV 20 Detroit. Sports gambling is now legal in the state of Michigan. This after Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed a bipartisan bill into law earlier this month, and it could bring in nearly $20 million a year, according to the state Treasury Department. And to help us understand everything about legalized sports gambling and what it includes is attorney Clarence Doss of the Doss Law Firm in Bloomfield Hills. Thank you, as always, for coming in, a friend of the show. We appreciate you being here.
Great to be here.
Now let's talk about this, because a lot of people, especially with March Madness approaching, are going to be all about this. What does the new law allow exactly?
Well, most people don't know this, but March Madness and all kinds of sports betting used to be actually illegal.
Right.
And you could do it, but you really couldn't do it for any quantitative sum. Now, as of just last week, Governor Whitmer signed the bill. You can actually gamble not only on your mobile phone, you can use apps to trade money, but you can gamble at the workplace, gamble at home, and you can gamble in the casinos here in Metro Detroit. And there are some tax consequences that are going to come from that, but now you can do it without having to worry about it.
Okay, so the next question is, when you talk about, taxes, your winnings will be taxed, right?
I think that was the driving force behind this bill. If you win, meaning you among your friends or family are gambling, that's going to be taxed at almost 9%, 8.4% of a tax.
No matter what you win, even if it's $2?
Absolutely. And then if you do it at a casino, there's an additional 1.2 or more tax that can be imposed. So the state really is expecting to raise upwards of $20 million to hundreds of millions of dollars from this if it really all goes well.
Are there people who are not allowed to gamble?
Well, they did put an age restriction on this, so you have to be 21 or over to gamble. And that includes at the casino or whether you're doing it at home or with friends or on your phone. They do want to regulate this in some ways, and they don't want everybody getting into it. They want you to be responsible in the way you gamble.
Yeah, and are there restrictions on where? I know you said you could do it at your home, work, that kind of thing.
The bill really allows you to do it from your home, your workplace now, from your mobile phone, from your casino. The only thing you can't do it sometimes are in elementary schools. A lot of these laws are similar to the laws of you would look at for other types of what the law calls vices, which be gambling or smoking and things like that.
Sure.
They want age restrictions, they want geographic restrictions, but this really allows it to be pretty much everywhere.
And so what advice would you give to somebody who's interested in sports betting, especially sports betting online, in light of this new law? Well,
I would check your local laws, because each state has the right to be able to set their own parameters about what gambling they allow, and this law doesn't actually take effect until probably end of the year. So I wouldn't start gambling just yet.
Okay.
But by March Madness, they're expecting this will be in full force, and they'll have apps and businesses and ways for you to do this. But you want to make sure you're on the right side of the law when you do it.
Sure. Any misconceptions about this, the new law?
Well, I think the main misconception is that it's going to be rampant, and people are going to be gambling, and people are going to be getting into trouble. I think what the law is really doing is just solidifying what people have already been doing, like the March Madness, like the gambling during the NCAA tournament or the Super Bowl or things like that. I don't think you're going to see a huge change, but only time will tell.
But again, if you have any winnings whatsoever, you need to be talking to your tax preparer if you have assistance with that to figure out what you need to pay.
Absolutely. It's like if you went on Wheel of Fortune or a game show and you win $50,000, and you're not going to get that entire $50,000. A lot of it is going to be taxed, and here in Michigan, you're looking at 8 to 10% of a tax on that.
That's a big chunk. It is. Clarence Doss from the Doss Law Firm. Thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate your advice.
Thank you so much.
Spelling it all out for us so we don't make mistakes. Still